Henry came home very sick.
We got sick yesterday.
It's almost like you begged for it.
I need you to know this, Natalie. I beg for none of it. I'm not asking for it. I'm not asking to make space in the savory pudding world the way that Henry just needs a partner to help him do this. And I'm up for the task. And chicken marsala pud, you think, oh, that's not that bad. I don't want to discuss people because people don't come here to get disgusted. They come here to think about bad boys. I'm not going to tell you the consistency of it, but I will say.
Was it cum?
I remember it was on my tongue and my brain was like, you have to swallow it. You have to swallow it. And literally my body was like,
was it like cum, but it was gritty?
No, it just
like if it was cum, but there was like sand.
Honestly, this brings Nesta into it. It reminded me of the mornings when I was an alcoholic and I had to get to work at 5:30 in the morning, and I would have burps where a bunch of stuff would come up, and you'd have to swallow it back down because you're trying to make coffee for somebody.
Who's just on their way to work.
Yeah.
Who's like not a goblin like you, and you're just like, I'm a human.
I'm fine.
Hi.
I'm doing fine. But then you have to swallow it back down. That's what it reminded me of. But a thicker version of that.
But I will say our talented friend Sam made it, and it's not Sam's fault. It's what
the producer, Sam Wirtz.
It's
exactly what we asked for. Not we. I'm sorry. I have to take the we out of this. It's exactly what Henry asked for. And so when Henry put it in his mouth and he was disgusted because every other pudding we've tried, Henry's got yum, yum, yum. I can't believe you don't like this, Jackie. Even when it was a pud thai and there was so much fish sauce in it. Y'all know what fish sauce smells like. It's rough when it's in gelatinous form.
I feel like this is now going to be your corner niche and this is your life and you need to just get used to it.
I have to. I mean, I am Pud and Pud is me and we are Pud and Pud is all together.
Not me. Not me at all.
Not you at all. I don't know. I think we could have a very special vegetarian edition.
I mean, I would try it. I would try a vegetarian one, but the ones that sound the grossest are the ones like, I think the one you had yesterday was made with chicken fats, grease put into it.
There was grease in it.
So I can't
made
do
it
those.
So especially like sliquid, but not the lube.
Yeah, it does sound like discharge.
Yeah, but thicker and chunkier
and grittier. Good Pud on Twitch.
This is a show. I do one show with my brother. I do one show with my sister-in-law. The two are very different.
But are they?
I contain multitudes.
You do. I do think you contain multitudes.
Thank you. I'm just like Nesta.
You are.
Except I'm Gwen today.
You did a good job.
My red hair.
I again am being an Emery on a non-Emery episode, and you just fucking don't come at me.
Nobody's coming at you. You look so beautiful.
Thanks.
You look like Gretel.
I'll take it.
I'll give you a house of candy.
Because Emery's a mountain woman. That sounds like a Gretel, sort of like forest.
Oh, yeah,
lady.
for sure. Yeah, you're a forest fae.
I was thinking of Heidi, which is a mountain woman, but remember Heidi?
I don't think I ever saw Heidi. I remember you say Heidi. I remember specifically the cover of the VHS of Heidi, though. Yeah.
It's her on a mountain.
Bitch on a mountain.
Bitch on a mountain.
And there's one thing I know about Heidi. That bitch is on a mountain.
That's what we know about Emery so far.
Yeah, so there you go.
So Nesta's in the library at the beginning of chapter 17, and she's approaching Clotho because if you recall, end of last episode, she was very tentatively asking Cassian if he thought it was a good idea if she invited the priestesses to train with him. And he said that he liked it and it made her feel good even though she wouldn't admit it.
Yes.
So now she's nervously coming up to Clotho because she wants to ask her about, can the priestesses learn fight training? She tries to explain it would be for basically confidence and protection, but she's feeling flustered and kind of like, oh God, is this a stupid idea that I'm asking this?
Also, it's like hard to go, like, especially before, you don't want to like get the other girls excited about it, but like, you don't even know if they want to do it yet. You're going to go ahead and like go up and ask, like, this takes balls.
Oh, you're putting your heart on your sleeve.
Oh, hot on your cloak. Oh.
Hot on your cloak. Clotho, of course, can't be seen, so there's a weighted pause as Clotho considers behind her hood, Finally, she tells Nesta that she may put up a sign-up sheet, but warns her there may not be a lot of hope to see any sign-up. Nevertheless, Clotho gives Nesta her blessing.
She's being a whoopee. Oh, God, it is happening, by the way.
Oh, Nesta is being the Sister Act?
The Sister Act, yeah. It is. It finally is dropped. Sister Act 3 is definitely happening. I'm just like, I love the first and second one. We don't need a third.
I don't want this. I don't want Beetlejuice 2.
Yeah, but it's all right.
Don't do this.
At least Beetlejuice. I mean, I'm gonna see Beetlejuice.
Of course, I'm gonna see it.
I've got to see it.
I'll probably see Sister Act 3.
Yeah, of course,
so
I'm gonna
guess
see
what?
it.
I'm part of the problem.
Yes, but can't we complain anyway?
Yeah, I think about sequels 20 years later, we're allowed to complain about it. Unsurprisingly, there isn't any signups the first day, nor the second.
Aww.
Nesta must be wearing her disappointment on her face because at her own training session, Cassian gently offers that she keep reaching out her hand.
Oh my God.
She doesn't know that's what he did.
Oh my God.
But she listens and she keeps the sheet up, no matter that the days and then weeks pass by. During this time, Nesta is slowly building up her own strength, getting faster, better, stronger.
Yes.
Faster, better, stronger.
Faster, better, stronger.
That's not how that goes.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
I think that was wrong. Better, better, faster, stronger.
Now that's how it goes.
Doing what sounds like she's at these things that she's like doing this montage basically in this scene of the book where she's like building all of her stuff up. At night, she's taking those blasted stairs over and over, slowly adding stairs each time to her routine.
Yes, Queen, yes.
Yes. She's too tired each evening to even think about what occurred between her and Cassian. But the work seems to be empowering her, giving her a new life.
I can't even imagine how much my loins would throb after that interaction and then for no touching to happen. And I know there's a lot of other things going on, but all like my inner thoughts would be like, yeah, but think about it. Every time you pass the wall, think about it. Every time you pass a wall, think about it.
Oh, I'm sure they are. But I think that's what she's instead doing, keeping her head so buried in training and stuff. She's like, can't think about it too long. Oh,
yes.
There it is. No. I got to go try to lift this rock over my head.
I'm just
now.
saying good for her. I'm just not that strong. I would just lose myself and pine. I'd just pine and wither instead.
It's fun to pine, you know?
I love pining.
They have not, in fact, addressed what happened between them in the hallway.
No.
They train hard together every day, though, and the barriers are still coming down bit by bit. So it's not like made a negative impact. They just aren't. They're just like pretending, which probably is kind of sexy in its own way.
Of course it is. It's the whole like, we can't.
Furtive glances.
We can't. And just imagine them just like making eye contact and just like they feel the heat.
And then they dart their eyes away.
They look away.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
There are moments that are definitely bordering on flirtation through this time, but Nesta begins to take her training seriously. So this does actually mean something to her now. Even if she's a bit crestfallen that no priestesses have yet signed up. Still, the training keeps away the thoughts.
But also, that's very scary to just have a open sign-up sheet so that anyone could know. Like, if there was a box that you could rip it off and, like, slip it in, do that kind of thing so no one knows who you are.
Rejected?
Yeah.
That nobody wants to sign up for
Yeah. So then nobody knows. That and then nobody sees that you signed up if you're like, oh, is this going to be a thing? Or am I going to be made fun of?
Right. Like, you want to secretly sign up because you're a little embarrassed?
Yeah, because I feel like it's like they used to do that with like talent show signups and stuff like that out front of the auditorium, and you'd have to write what you were doing next to your name, and then everybody would be like, Jackie, you're gonna, I don't know, be a puppeteer, and I'm like, yes. Stop! I love them. They're not dolls. They're puppets. I'm sorry, MJ. MJ tells me all the time they're not dolls. They're puppets.
MJ and their puppets. Then one of those evenings, a couple weeks after she posts the sign-up sheet, she returns to the House of Wind after a long afternoon at the library and suddenly senses Elain has turned up. She scents her, jasmine and honey.
Ugh, I don't want to smell when my brother's been somewhere.
Well,
walking. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It smells like I don't know, Fifth the Jack
Halushki
and hooch.
Pierogies.
And weed, probably.
Probably mostly weed. It's mostly weed. It's not an exciting feeling for Nesta that Elain has turned up. No matter that she may have turned a corner up here, she's still definitely living within that realm of the way you kind of go through rehab or you're on like a vacation where it is a form of escapism and probably not the right time for Elain to show up.
Ooh.
You know, like when you're in that process, probably like a surprise visit from somebody's not what you need.
No, it's they just show up and then it's just like stopping all of the work that you were in the middle of doing, all the like the actual like the frontward access that you're making.
Yeah,
I said frontward access.
Frontward access. I know what you meant. And also then that person's a lot of times going like, "Hey, buddy, how you doing? You doing good?
I am processing.
Hi. Oh, yeah?
Because of course she's going to... That's me being, my hand being a snake, if you're not watching.
I mean, yeah, this was a bad idea. Nesta finds her in the private library and she notes how Elaine's color has returned, but to herself. She doesn't say it nicely to Elain.
No, of course not.
And so has Elaine's curves, since she's no longer withering away, awaiting Boro Snoro. Nesta glances at herself, noting that she herself was curvy like that once, though she does think to herself, maybe with a note of satisfaction, that her own breasts have always been bigger than Elaine's.
Why you gotta do it? Why you gotta be like, sisters. That's just what they do, man.
Yeah.
Constant comparison.
Yeah. And also, I mean, if you're in this vulnerable position, I say take what you can take. You're like, yeah, well, my boobs are bigger.
Boobs are bigger, so whatever.
Elain tries to greet her with a smile, telling Nesta she was coming to visit and see how she's doing. Nesta is not feeling it. And frankly, I don't know why Elain thought this would help her. It's almost like a little bit of a selfish check-in.
It is, and I also do wonder, though, like, did she realize that she was making as much frontward access as she's been making?
No, I don't. I think probably Cassian isn't really telling people.
Yeah, because he probably doesn't want to like scare her away.
He's
and
trying
like,
to respect Nesta.
Exactly. So I bet she doesn't even know. And she's just like, all right, I gotta go. I gotta go bring bring the peace feather or whatever.
I think that there's part of it too, though, that if you're in that position that you think somehow like, oh, she'll be so grateful for my presence. And it's like, but you're not really thinking about her then.
And what she needs.
Yeah.
You're thinking about what you need, bitch.
And right now, unfortunately, when somebody's in this state, it's kind of got to be about them a little bit, which is annoying.
Give them space. You got to give them space.
Yeah.
More space than this.
Yeah. So she thinks about, Nesta recalls in her mind that she hadn't seen Elain since before she was hijacked and taken up here. And the last time she had seen her had been in the Palace of Bone and Salt in the middle of a crowd. Elain had spotted her and was coming over, but Nesta darted away, not wishing to speak with anyone. So this is, they haven't had like a goodbye or anything like that. Elain tries again to say something encouraging and sort of flubs it, saying, you look better than you did before. Thanks, Elain.
Oh, good. She always knows what to say. But again, think this is the same girl that just like stared out a window with nothing in her eyes for what? Months.
Yeah.
So it's like she's not all there with the social interactions.
And yes, and also she has been infantilized her whole life. So we don't know what's in her yet, and I can't wait to find out.
When you're told you're a baby for that long, you start being baby.
You start being a little baby. Nesta doesn't smile or respond in a placating way. In fact, she's getting slowly filled with resentment as she recalls being in this very library with Elain, a frail, wallowing mess. So worried that Elain would leap out a window, she never left her side. Elain can sense that Nesta is not happy to see her, but she continues to try to coax anything she can out of Nesta. Are you enjoying your time here?
But also, Elain, girl, you didn't speak to anybody for months. And then you come in being like, well, Scott, what if I just keep asking?
You better yet.
You have no, like, are you not thinking at all about what you just went? I'm sorry. Maybe I'm.
No, I'm annoyed at Elain for doing this. But also glad because of what happens afterwards.
Yes.
So Nesta thinks with a level of spite that as she's analyzing Elain coming at her this way, that she was always the prettiest Archeron sister, and as a fae, she's just become utterly devastating. This launches her deep into a memory of them growing up together. Elain is pleasant to look at,
her mother had once mused while Nesta sat beside her dressing table, a servant silently brushing her mother's golden brown hair.
But she has no ambition. She does not dream beyond her garden and her pretty clothes. She will be an asset on the marriage market for us one day, if that beauty holds.
Jesus.
But it will be our own maneuverings, Nesta, not hers, that will win us an advantageous match.
It's just like cool out.
Is that something that other people do with their kids, make them sit there and brush their hair? Is that like a normal thing?
I think if you're little, you get your hair brushed,
no,
right?
she's brushing her mom's hair.
Maybe, I'm sorry, maybe I've watched too much of the show Smothered.
Yeah, Smothered, that would happen.
I think that when they share bath water and stuff like that.
I still choose to believe that was just for the show.
Do you?
Yes.
You
I
really
have to.
believe that?
I have to choose to believe that. I keep adjusting my wig if you're watching this because I forgot to put on the little thing that keeps the wig on, so it's going to keep moving around.
Oh, no. But I like it, though.
My forehead's going to be different sizes throughout the episode.
I like it. It makes you look more surprised the further back it goes.
My 5 head. So
don't say that. I was always told that too.
Oh,
that
yeah,
I got 5 head.
Why do you think I wear bangs?
It's why I did have bangs for so long, but now that I've grown out my bangs, I'm scared to get bangs. Oh, the life of a long-haired person and the way we think about bangs.
I've had bangs since I was literally like 3 years old most of the time in my life. And so everybody talks about cutting bangs in when you're having like mental illness. Like, what's that say about me, I guess?
Well, you've always
just
had them, though.
Steady pace, always at the same level of mental illness.
Just as it grows out long enough, like,
I gotta cut them in.
Cutting it off. I can honestly say I've never brushed my mother's hair.
I don't think I ever did either. I didn't. My mother really. I didn't like touch her. Ever.
No, I actually had a friend after the wedding. I couldn't get all the stuff out of my hair, and a friend of mine helped brush my hair, and it was a very like intimate. Like I was like, "Are you sure?" She's like, "Yeah, I'll do it." And I was like, "Okay." And then I just sat there and was like, "This is weird, man.
Yeah, I don't know.
We've known each other for a long time."
I used to
dude.
getting it done like on a set or something, but
sure, but like
that's
when
like
it's just
very
a friend,
not intimate. They're like using you like a fucking doll. They're just like,
yeah, no, she very gently did it, and it was just like a very like I just kept talking about how uncomfortable I was the entire
You should have been told her.
time.
You should have been talking about your maneuverings.
Yeah.
We'll find a prince for you.
Don't you wait. Don't you worry, darling. I know you're single now, but someone might love that ugly face of yours in the future. After I just got married. Just shove it in her face.
You're just like, don't worry, poor little lonely woman.
Maybe someone might stoop themselves down to you to love you someday.
Maybe it's good we don't have kids. This little passage gives us a look into what their childhood was like in a new way. This certainly speaks of a narcissist mother who saw her children as little pawns to serve her.
Yes.
Her memories continue, and she recalls it at this memory. Nesta and Elain were 11 and 12, and their mother was only really paying attention to the two of them and thinking about their prospects and not any attention at all to Feyre, who Nesta recalls was a, quote, sullen, strange child.
Doesn't that mean that she needs more attention?
No.
Doesn't
That's how you make a champion. You push them out into the forest with a bow and arrow and go, come back if you can.
You're weird. Go get weirder. Go kill things. You know, it's just.
And look at her. Now she's a high lady.
Yeah.
She's a high lady.
Good for her.
In this particular memory, their mother tells Nesta that she could leverage herself to find a nobleman on the continent. And little Nesta is thrilled at the idea of her mother thinking that she could marry a prince. She begins, it's almost a little unhealthy. I don't know. It's not weird.
No, I think it's great for your children to put that kind of pressure on them.
And to make them value that sort of thing.
Shoot for the moon, you land among the stars, damn it.
Oh, God.
Mama, why?
You going to become a dance mom?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
She brings herself out of recollection and snaps to at modern day Elain that she's forced to be here. She's like, she gets out of this like memory she's having and just like, how could I be fucking enjoying myself? I was forced here. I don't have a choice. Elaine's like, whoopsie, that was the wrong question.
Yeah.
But there's also a marked change in Elain, that she's not just cowering and backpedaling at Nesta's temper. When Nesta challenged her, saying, remember, you were a big mess and no one locked you in a mountain, Elain actually stands up for herself and counters that she also wasn't drinking herself to death and, quote, doing those other things.
Damn, this is this is a sister fight.
It is.
This is a fight written by someone that has had a sister fight before.
Yeah.
Like, it is like, I love how it amps up. And then all of a sudden, you're saying shit that you're like, I've been thinking this for a long time. And then you just say it. And then you just like see the hurt on your face. And you're like, oh no, I've said it.
Yeah, these blows go pretty low here because
dude.
after Elain says the doing these other things, Nesta decides to scoff at her for not being able to say fucking, that if she's so at home with Feyre's little posse that their dirty mouths, maybe she should just get over it. Besides, Nesta knows what Elain did with Grayson.
Whoa.
Ouch, Nesta. Ouch.
It was a low blow, but Nesta didn't care. She knew Elain had given her maidenhead to Grayson a month before they'd been turned Fae. Elain had been glowing the next morning.
Maidenhead is so gross.
It's truly disgusting.
Maidenhead.
They don't refer to it as a maidenhead, but I just can't not think about 90 Day Fiancé. Jasmine and Gino. And Jasmine got her hymen replaced so that she could be a virgin for him.
That is so unhealthy for so many reasons.
And I was just like, wow.
It is such a patriarchal weird thing. Do you know not everybody fucking has a hymen?
Wow.
Virginity is not real.
Wow.
Ugh.
I can't.
Wait.
I can't, I think about it too often.
That is so fucking repulsive.
Why?
I'm becoming a little girl again for you. I'm a little girl.
You're in your late 30s. Stop. You have children. Stop.
Why do you need him to cosplay out that he's taking your virginity from you? That's so gross. Yeah, I'm being fucking judgmental.
I am totally being judgmental. I really try not to. But maidenhead is disgusting.
I always said maidenhood. Is that wrong?
I guess it's maidenhead, man.
Interesting. Okay. There's some argument. I think that this is really just a matter of translation. It probably just got switched at some point. But there's an argument that maidenhead refers to virginity, while maidenhood is strictly a reference to marriage. So like her maidenhood is gone because she's married.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And maidenhead just means somebody stuck it in you.
I guess because it's like they've got a head, so that's our maidenhead.
Also, you know what's really fucked about that replacing your hymen thing? That process can be very painful for people who have vaginas and vulvas. And so you're basically like you're doing this re-traumatization of your body for basically your husband to pop you, to pop you open. No, excuse me? No. She should have gotten surgery to widen her vulva.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
To gauge it out.
Yeah, man. Just start flapping it out. You can just stick more and more, right?
Okay.
I know anatomy.
All right, back to this.
I don't know anything about it. I don't know how it works.
So she says this mean thing to Elain, who doesn't crumble as Nesta anticipated her to.
Man.
No, in fact, she presses Nesta further about why she's acting out this way, and it doesn't go well. Nesta's words are little sword jabs aimed to slice. But Elain handles it pretty well, a little too well for Nesta's taste. And Nesta takes some blows too when Elain mentions that Feyre told her that Nesta would be like this.
Whoa.
Feyre told me you were going to act like this. As though Elain and Feyre sat around and discussed her. And worse, Elain is now on Team Feyre.
Whoa.
No matter, Nesta's the only one trying to make teams happen here. And then Elain mentions their father. Don't ever mention him.
Nesta bared her teeth, but kept her voice low.
Never fucking mention him again. In that moment, Nesta may have unintentionally revealed something about herself and her condition, and Elain picks up on it.
Pain slowly washed over Elaine's face, and understanding.
Is that what this is about, Father? And that, to me, would make me also mad because she's probably talking to her like she's a little baby going like, oh, honey, is that what we're talking about?
What this is about? Is that why you're actually upset?
And that filled Nesta with rage.
Yeah.
Her magic barely contained in this moment. She screams at Elain to get out. But Elain tries again to address how none of it was her fault, that she couldn't have done anything. But Nesta's not anywhere near ready to have this conversation or even admit his death affected her in this way. And so she delivers a blow in the hopes that it will send Elain away. She accuses Elain of not bothering to show it up at all to try to save him, which is pretty bad.
That's rough, dude.
Insinuating that like his death might have been her fault.
Yeah, that's rough, man.
This is obviously a horrible thing to say. And Nesta herself doesn't even believe it.
No, she's just trying to be mean, man, trying to get her to leave.
But it does the intended job, and Elain is taken aback by the words. Muttering a few things in departure, she sweeps out of the room, and Nesta sinks into a chair in the library, seething and closing herself up once again, not caring if she sent Elain to go cry to the Bat Boys. Meanwhile, Cassian and Rhys await the meeting to be over in the House of Wind dining room, and Elain does indeed enter the room in tears.
Oy. Because she can't even, leave the House of Wind by herself.
Mm-mm. She has to wait for somebody to take her.
Oh, my God.
And so she demands it. She says, take me home. I want to go now. Rhys tries to ask her what happened, but Elain strides past the males into the veranda, awaiting to be picked up and traveled back to the city below. Rhys and Cassian follow her out.
Elain stood by the rail, the breeze caressing her hair.
She's not getting any better. She's not even trying.
She wrapped her arms around herself and stared toward the distant sea.
Rhys and Cassian have a brief argument through their thoughts, Cassian telling him to keep the sisters away unless Nesta gives them permission to come, insisting further that she is actually making progress and unexpected drop-ins from people she perceives as judging her probably won't help anything.
This is such a sweet, and this just goes to show he is totally reading the room, which is totally Goosh City.
Yeah.
Because he is totally seeing what is going on, sees what she needs, is advocating for her when she's just not quite in the place to advocate for herself yet. And it's just, okay,
fine, I'll kiss you, Cassian.
I love him.
And I mean, he has a point, and don't just drop in people. She's already lost most of her autonomy. No need to parade people around her like she's an animal in a zoo.
Yeah.
I wouldn't like it personally.
Yeah.
Rhys is angry, but basically concedes to Cassian as he scoops Elain up into the sky. Cassian makes sure they're well on their way before he storms back into the hall. He may have stood up for Nesta to Rhys, but he's pissed. He strides across the house until he makes it to the library door, not bothering to knock. What the fuck happened?
Oh, he's so mad. He's so mad.
Nesta, and yet you seem like like you're smiling.
He's so mad at me.
Nesta is seated, gripping the arms of the chair she occupies. Her anger still fills her face, and it's clear she's not in any mood to feel shame for what she's done. She stands to face him, and he does not retreat. Of course you'd assume I'm the one at fault.
She prowled closer, her eyes burning with cold fire.
Always defending sweet, innocent Elain. He doesn't blanch. In fact, fairly points out that she was always the one defending sweet, innocent Elain. Suddenly, Cassian notices the room is freezing. Whether it's her magic or it's just a chilly day is unclear, but he requests a fire to the house and one immediately lights. Nesta tries to demand it go out, but the house doesn't seem to be listening, or perhaps is and doesn't want to for some reason.
Whoa.
Cassian watches Nesta, how panic ripples across her face.
Got to face it, girl. Process it, girl.
But he still doesn't know why she's freaked out by the fire and how she has a micro flinch when a log pops in the fireplace. He remembers her behaving the same way at Windhaven, but doesn't really know what to make of it. She sees him watching her and her temper lights anew. She shoves past him and he follows her, still pushing her, not physically, but emotionally, questioning what she wants.
Yes.
Is it really that she wants to push everyone away until she's alone?
Is that what you want?
She makes it to the door of the stairs, but spins on him at those questions. He sees she's about to spit some poison his way, but then kind of retreats while she looks at him in the face.
As if she'd bank herself for him, pity him, spare him. Like he needed shielding from her.
Say it,
he hissed.
Just fucking say it. He's prepared for this battle, almost welcomes it. Nesta is there with him 1 second, and then emotionally the next, her internal flame extinguishes.
Replaced by something so dead and vacant, it was like gazing into the unseeing eyes of a fallen soldier on a battlefield. He'd seen crows pick at eyes that dead.
She turns from him and begins to descend the stairs. Nesta's stepping down and down and around at the start of chapter 18. She's desperate to escape, to drown herself and take away the pain and anger. Down she goes, past the handprint, past 300, past 500 steps.
Whoa!
Past another 100, then another.
Oh my God!
She gets all the way to 800 this time before her legs start to give out, which for sure is impressive.
Yeah, dude, but then you got to get back up, bro.
But not even a tenth of all the steps anyway.
Yeah, no, there's a lot more. There's a lot more.
So probably not going to make it to this wine tonight that she wants so badly. But she's going to try, god's damn it. She forces her legs forward. Another 100 steps. Another. She makes it all the way down to step 1,000.
Damn.
Now we're getting somewhere. But not this time. She drops to the step, unable to stand any longer. Her head is spinning so vehemently that she grips the inner pillar of the staircase. And in doing so, she swears she hears a heartbeat inside the stone.
Whoa.
Which is, I assume, for us to know the house is with her, comforting her. But also, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
There's a giant heart inside of it.
That makes it, I'm just like, where's the blood?
Yeah.
Does that mean, like, does it have a brain?
Bones?
Like, where is, like, it's like, have I stepped on its feet before? I hope I didn't. I'm sorry if I did.
Yeah, that's scary.
Yeah. I after all that we've discussed, I definitely don't want a sentient house.
No.
I don't want smart house.
Sounds like a horror movie.
Yeah, I'm all right. I'll shut the lights off. It's fine.
When the spinning subsides enough for her to move again, she makes the perilous journey back to the top. By the end, she's not really standing upright anymore. While not feeling better per se, she has been drained enough that her rage has receded. When she gets to the top and sees Cassian still standing there waiting across the hall, she tells him she doesn't have it in her to argue right now.
Man, I wonder how long that was and how long Cassian had to wait at the top of the stairs. Or do you think like he just like could scent as she got closer, I guess?
I'm assuming some of you will message me. I've gotten more stare fact messages than I've ever gotten about anything.
Really? Tell me more.
So many people like talk about their own guessing of stairs and then think about their own stair experiences.
I mean, it's a lot of stairs. It's a lot more stairs than you'd think.
It's a lot. 1,000 stairs would take a hot minute. She tries to walk past him, but he stops her with his wing.
Oh.
And he asks her what step she got to. 1,000, she says. They watch each other. Nesta waits for him to let her pass, but he keeps holding his wing out. Finally, he asks what set her off that day. Asks what happened with her and Elain. Asks what happened with her and Elain to cause this fight. But Nesta throws a wild card out here. Why don't they sign up for training? He understands immediately and tries to comfort her. But then Nesta gets to the point. Some of them, the priestesses, of course, have been in the library for hundreds of years. Hundreds. And they still can't come out and see people interact. What hope did she have for herself? And while I get what she's saying, I think some of them maybe went through worse things, Nesta.
Yeah, dude. They think they had a couple worse things happen.
I'm not saying it was nothing.
No.
Nesta went through some shit.
Yes, she totally did.
But I mean, Clotho's entire tongue was cut out.
Yeah.
You know, like, maybe it's because there was like slightly more traumatic than you.
Yeah.
Cassian watches her and gently says that they've only been training for a few weeks. Real change takes longer than that, and you have to be patient. In fact, Feyre, I don't want to hear about Feyre and her special journey. I don't want to hear about Rhys's journey or Morrigan's or anyone's. Which I thought was a funny retort, her special journey.
It's just, she's got a lot of issues that she's got to work through.
To see Feyre as annoying and her journey as special is a reminder how we view things differently as individuals.
Yes.
Cassian presses her, but she just tells him to put his wing away so she can go to bed.
Cassian obeyed, but stepped closer, towering over her.
Then I'll tell you about my special journey, Ness.
His tone was icy in a way she'd never heard.
She said, I can't get into character today.
Perform the poem. Play the play. Speak the speech.
Then I'll tell you about my special journey, Ness.
Yeah. No, yes, I like it. You want to try it one more time?
Yeah. Then I'll tell you about my special journey, Ness.
His tone was icy in a way she'd never heard.
She again goes to leave, but then Cassian launches into the massacre he laid down in his mother's village. We learned about it a little bit in Court of Frost and Starlight. The shock of this story pulls her out of her anger. He goes on, explaining the villagers refused to tell him where her body was, so he ripped through those who had hurt her. And I forgot this part. He found out who his bio father was in this time, and he and Azriel and Rhysand pulled him apart limb from limb, and then Cassian took his life.
Yes!
Yeah.
Yes! I know, an eye for an eye.
It's unhealthy.
I know, but it can't take away my human need of
especially in this world where their cruelty kind of asks for this.
And also goes unpunished in any way. You know what? I'd rather that than him put into some, prison system.
I mean, I'd rather that
apart limb from limb.
I know.
If you know 100%, you know what I mean? Because they can smell it. They have all different ways. It's not oh, I'm pretty sure that's him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because if you'll recall, it wasn't he was just a mean partner. He arred his mother.
Yes.
And then left her.
Yes.
So fucking good for him. Okay? Good for him. His face ripples with anger as he relives this story and the feelings he had. She's so shook, and she's shook, and they're both breathing heavily in this moment.
Oh, God.
He tells her it took him 10 years to process what he did that day. So if she needs decades to deal with it, then take your decades, Nesta. When she asks if he regrets it, he says no. She processes this honesty by lowering her head.
Warm, strong fingers cupped her chin, calluses scraping against her skin. She let him lift her head. She hadn't realized he'd come closer, that only inches separated them. Unless she'd been the one to drift toward him, drawn by each brutal word. Cassian kept his light grip on her chin.
Whatever you need to throw at me, I can take it. I won't break.
No challenge laced the words, only a plea.
But this kindness, this intimacy, it scares her, begs her to put up walls.
I love reading it.
She loves it too, but she can't. She's scared. She's
yeah, of course.
Holy shit. I want to I'd want to rip my clothes off right now. And she's like, no, I can't. So she tells him that she's not like the other girls.
Well, we know that, Ness.
That she bothers everyone around them, including so special Rhysand. Cassian's gentleness is replaced with warning to not speak to Rhys that way.
Oh.
to not speak of Reese that way.
Okay.
Their tempers rise once again, and he grabs her wrist, challenges her to make him take his hand off of her.
Hot temper poured in.
You're an arrogant bastard. And you're a haughty witch. We're evenly matched. I love that scene because SJM is really big on Jane Austen, and this feels like a line from a book like that, or it feels a little bit like a movie from the 40s.
Yes, yeah.
And you're a haughty witch.
We're
evenly matched.
I love it.
She shouts, "Let go!" And he does immediately. But he also smirks like he's proud of himself for getting under her skin. It fills her with so much anger that she darts forward and grabs his jacket.
Nesta told herself it was to knock that smirk off his face that she curled her fingers in the leather and hauled her mouth to his.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love it. I love that. This love story is just like, it's way everything.
I thought this was such a good sleight of hand for the kiss because I assumed it was happening last chapter when he confronts her.
Right.
But when she started going down the stairs, I was like, oh, okay, I guess this is not when this is happening.
Yes.
And then also a great ending where her anger's up again to the chapter, and then the chapter ends on her, like, in that last second being like, oh, no, I'm kissing. It's a fun little like, oh, now it's on.
Oh, my God. I am just I love hearing love. I love love, and I love love stories.
I love lust.
I mean, I do also, I love the cardinal. Oh, my head. Oh, no, it's still here. Sorry, I thought my head was falling off.
That would be
By
scary.
my head, I meant my bejewels. It would be weird if my head just fell off. What would you do?
Try to put it back on, I guess?
Yeah, I guess we'd have to finish the episode.
Jackie, we're not done with this episode. We have to get through this. And then make your mouth talk.
Something horny.
And then whenever we were done, then I would freak out.
Yeah. Well, there's time to freak out.
I care so much about your entertainment.
Content. The content always comes first.
Yep. That's our family motto. Chapter 19 opens with Nesta's mouth on Cassian's, triumphantly watching his eyes widen with shock at the kiss. She continues to watch him as he pulls away. She continues to watch him as she pulls away from him, a smirk on her face.
She only got as far as lowering her right hand before he surged forward to kiss her back.
And we get a great payoff for the wait.
Oh my God,
scene.
what? We have been waiting for so long.
If you're not reading the books and you're just following the podcast, we'll have some special guys reading it out. So don't worry.
You get to hear the scene.
But let's just say someone comes in their pants.
Yeah. Someone comes in their pants.
The next morning, after everything that happens in the scene, we're with Cassian at the breakfast table facing down Azriel. He knows Az has said something about having a meeting at the river house today, but for some reason, Cassian can't focus on anything that morning.
I wonder why.
He's thinking, obviously, about the night before, how someone finished and someone didn't.
Yeah, and that's got to be very upsetting. You're going to have to finish her off at some point. Now, what do you think is the
I don't think that's true of a lot of people, especially people with dicks.
Yeah.
They're just like, thanks, see you later.
I just don't live in that world anymore.
No.
You know what I mean? So it's just like, I kind of forget. It's like, yeah, no, it's like, this is how a big himbo would feel, Just like, well, now I've got to make it even, obviously, but also like I forgot. Oh, yeah, is it the house? It sounded like I was coming in my pants. If he came in his pants, does he have to get the come out, or does the sentient house have to get the come out?
I hope the house doesn't have to do that. I feel like that's abuse.
Yeah, you can't, I hope he scrapes his own come out.
Well, he also said that he, I didn't write it down, but that he Oh, maybe it wasn't this scene. One of the scenes coming up that he soaked his sheets. So that's also got to get watched.
Oh my God. And he's also the guy that at least does that and doesn't just leave it. Isn't that kind of nice?
I know he does cleaning.
Yeah.
I know that.
Yeah, he's a clean boy. But he's dirty.
Yeah. In all the right moments.
Yeah.
So someone finished and someone didn't. And he's going over this over and over in his head as is speaking with him, lambasting himself for behaving like a teenager at her touch. But he recalls that some manic, animalistic part of him took over as Nesta touched him, and he could not stop himself. He's lost in the memory of the taste of her.
Like fire and steel and a winter sunrise.
And he starts
sick.
And he starts to have inappropriate manners for the breakfast table while sitting next to his buddy. Did something happen that I, as your chaperone, should know about?
Azriel's dry question dragged Cassian from his rising arousal. From the amusement on his brother's face, he knew Az could not only scent that arousal, but see it on his face.
No.
Cassian grumbled. He'd never hear the end of it if he admitted what he'd done. He'd found his pleasure, and Nesta had not. He'd never allowed such a thing to happen.
What a king!
Oh, my God!
A king amongst males.
I love him.
Also, a very funny quip from Azriel.
Sorry that
I as your chaperone.
Yeah,
I know something.
He's so cute. They're so cute. But even as Azriel, like how he acts during all this makes me even more attracted to Azriel as well, with just that like quiet sarcasm where you're just like, oh my God, you're quietly funny too. Don't.
Stop it.
Stop.
But Cass can't stop reliving the experience, him embarrassing himself, leaving her unsatisfied. Though I gotta say, Nesta was really at fault if you've read that scene. She knew what she was doing.
She knew what she was doing.
Like, it wasn't like she was not trying to make that situation happen.
Yeah, but because she wanted the upper.
Yeah.
She wanted to be.
She wanted the upper
exactly.
hand.
Yeah, she wanted the upper hand.
I hope it was worth it, Nesta. He questions in his mind whether she regretted it and didn't actually like it. But he knows that he scented her approval.
Oh God!
And
I hate it. I hate it. I would be so upset if someone can smell when I'm aroused. That's
not
upsetting.
Great. And because they're both so competitive, he then decides he needs to win this.
Okay.
Oh no, poor Nesta. That's oh man, that's so
bad.
Sucks for her. He comes to realizing Azriel has been talking to him and is now waiting for Cass's response, looking rather amused.
Azriel chuckled, shadows skittering.
Did you listen at all last night? No. Well, what he wasn't listening to was that Cassian and Nesta have been summoned to a group meeting at the River House this morning. Az quickly clarifies it's not a meeting about Nesta, but rather about their most recent discoveries regarding the human queens.
Remember the
there's
plot?
This horrible
Remember there's
drama
this like
happening?
insane like war shit and queens and stuff. I love that I think that's why I love this book so much of the five of them is because it kind of takes a back seat a little bit, like the huge plot that's happening.
Like this
and
apocalypse that's like on the precipice.
But they're like, but this fuck story. And we're just like, fuck.
Yeah, when's she gonna tongue him?
Man, yeah.
Did I just say tongue him? Ew.
Yeah, give him the tongue. Give him the slip, man. Give him the slip.
We're with Nesta at the start of chapter 20 as she's flying down to the River House with Cassian. She's feeling some feelings touching him this morning after everything.
Yeah.
But neither of them bring it up. In fact, really don't even speak to each other, and she's pretty fine with that. Though it's only been a few weeks at the House of Wind, she's already feeling a bit overwhelmed by the city as they descend towards the house. It doesn't help that she's incredibly nervous about seeing all of them, about what will be said. They make their way through the grand entryway when they reach the River House, and Nesta finds all of them sitting in a sitting room except Elain and Morrigan. So it's like Amren, Azriel, Rhys, Feyre,
You know.
all of the gang.
The gang.
Morgan, in fact, is barely in this book, and it makes me wonder if we're going to get some of her tale that's concurrent with this timeline.
We have to.
Because if you'll recall,
she's in the middle of doing a bunch of shit right now.
Yeah, and we had that mysterious chapter in A Court of Frost and Starlight where we learned she has a whole different house.
Yeah.
Who's like embodying like Xena energy.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if we're going to see where she is during all of this. Anywho, as they enter the room, Cassian crosses the distance to Feyre to give her a kiss and finds that Rhys has her shielded in their private domicile. That's weird.
Uh-oh.
Amren and Nesta observe each other. Neither greets the other, though. There is still a tension running between them that hasn't been resolved. But Feyre interrupts this awkward reunion, asking Azriel to give his report.
Well, somebody's fucking, or maybe not fucking.
That's not the report he's giving. That'd be weird if they had to report every sexual interaction they had.
Every time. She's like, oh my God, how many meetings they'd have for Feyre and Rhys. And like, we get it. Yeah, you're porking all the time.
Got it. You bent her over the table.
Yeah, good for you.
Good for you. Azriel says that he's learned some new information about Brialyn, and Nesta realizes that he probably means he tortured people to get that info. He sees her looking at his hands and tucks them behind his back as though he's ashamed of what they've done.
Oh, Az, let me fix you.
I'll heal you.
Oh.
He continues that Brialyn is indeed aligned with Baron and they are building armies. They figured as much. But he now tells them that she intends to, in fact, find the cauldron again. Because, of course, she got hagged.
Bitch got hagged. She all crone and she don't want to be.
She don't want to be. But finding the cauldron is a fool's errand, Amren says. Even if she found it, they have added levels of bindings and spells that would take a millennia to untangle. As Az goes on to say that Vassa,
the good queen,
their friend in the band of exiles, was correct in saying that Brialyn is also conniving and scheming with Koshke.
Oh no.
I know this fucking guy again.
This dude.
This ancient and wicked death lord of the lake.
You know, that one.
And that he has whispered, and that she has whispered in his ear about the dread trove.
Bum, bum, bum. But also, like, what about the fucking?
They've got to deal with the fucking
dread trove and all the queens.
So this is a new thing, and we're like, great. What is this now?
Thing.
A goddamn dread trove?
Oh yeah.
That doesn't sound good.
No, I'd rather a pleasure cruise. Thank you very much. Get me on the barge.
Get me on this barge. Get me out of here. Get me out of this trove.
Dread trove.
Can the Fae catch a break every once in a while?
Nah, dude.
Turns out these are some more evil entities forged by the cauldron that are ancient. They were so old and lost that they're just sort of almost legend at this point. But they were forged by the cauldron for dirty deeds way back in the day. That there used to be many more, but now there are alleged to be 3. The mask,
Rhys murmured,
the harp, and the crown. This is all news to Feyre as well, and she asks Rhys to explain. The mask can raise the dead,
Amren answered for Rhys.
It is a death mask molded from the face of a long forgotten king. Wear it and you may summon the dead to you. Command them to march at your will. The harp can open any door, physical or otherwise. Some say between worlds. And the crown?
Amren shook her head.
The crown can influence anyone, even piercing through the mightiest of mental shields. So
it's something that, like, I feel like as I was reading this part, I was like, okay, remember, the mask raises the dead, the harp, open the door. Like, because I felt like I was going to be, like, tested on it later on, with, like, any kind of, like, sci-fi or fantasy book. When you hear these kind of things, I'm like, okay, you got to remember this because it's going to come back at some point, and we're going to have to deal with it.
You're a little D&D nerd.
Yeah, I'm just like, well, give me a die, D20s, come on. And then I roll for my investigation.
I'm just such a dork.
Yeah, not like the other girls. I wear cloaks.
I wear cloaks.
Multiple cloaks.
I'm just
do you hear my hip pop? That's how you know I'm just a widow baby. Don't move too fast. Your hip or your knee might pop. Feels great though.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta make that's your bursa fluid popping most of the time, or it could be a tendon.
What's coming out of me?
So your bursa sacs are in between your main joints, like when you pop your fingers.
Oh yeah, I try not to do that.
It's in the sacs that are in between your joints. They contain this little bit of liquid.
I got sacs.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot.
And what happens when you let go when the sacs burst?
They don't usually. I mean, that would be bad. They don't usually.
They don't usually burst. You're not popping
the fluid
them.
is popping inside of it. The bursa fluid.
Our bodies are weird.
Yeah, it's cool.
Sorry, but yes, you will be tested on this later on. The mask can raise the dead. The harp can open any door, physical or otherwise. The crown can influence anyone.
See, this is obviously different ways of that we got through college, because when I saw that, I was like, they'll talk about it again. They'll definitely give you more information.
They do give you more things, but like I do see it like that where I'm just like,
it's probably better for grade wise for remembering it that way.
Yeah, I was pretty good in school, guys. And look at how far it got me. I'm drinking coffee, wearing a wig.
Yep.
Screaming about sex with fairies with my sister-in-law.
Yeah, you're winning.
I'm winning. Charlie Sheen.
No, Charlie Sheen. No. Well, anyway, so none of that sounds like anybody who's chill would want any of those things. So that's not good.
Nah, we got to get those things.
But when Azriel and Rhys are getting what Azriel and Rhys are getting at with this information is that Brialyn wants to find these old artifacts because she thinks that they might help her locate the cauldron, like calls to like and all that.
Mm-hmm.
That since they were forged by it, that they could lead her back to it so she can get hot again.
Mm.
When Feyre questions why Brialyn couldn't find it herself as she was changed by the cauldron, Amren asserts that the cauldron didn't make her, as it made Elain and Nesta. That Brialyn had demanded something from it.
Cauldron don't like that. No, thank you.
And as Nesta had already pulled something out of it with her teeth, it gave Brialyn exactly what she asked for.
What are your wishes?
You will live forever.
As an old.
Ew.
Yuck, yuck, yuck. Look at her mouth while she eats.
Mary Berry.
Yeah, I always think of Mary Berry's mouth when I think about an old person's mouth eating. They always zoomed in on her mouth.
I love her. Fucking. She didn't give a shit.
Nah.
I hope to be that way.
Prue's pretty badass, though.
I love Prue.
Yeah.
I do love Prue, too.
Sorry, Great British Bake Off.
Feyre dares ask Nesta what happened when she went under. Nesta doesn't lash out, which I would say is progress, because this is a big thing. Like, you know how sensitive Nesta is about the cauldron.
She don't like to talk about it.
So Feyre brings it up, and Nesta doesn't snap, but she feels frozen as they all stare at her. Cassian steps in and asks why it matters, which is in fact, very kind. He's trying to protect Nesta in this moment. Nesta does feel something like gratitude almost towards him. And dare I say horniness?
Oh my God. I wonder why.
But even as he offers her this out, Nesta decides she wants to try to speak again because Feyre thinks that this may help them with their plan if they know what happened to her inside of the cauldron. Breathe.
It calmed her mind whenever Cassian led her through their exercises. So she let herself inhale, then slowly exhale. Again, a third time. And into the silence, Nesta said, I wasn't aware of what I took. Just that I was taking things the cauldron did not want me to have. It seemed fitting, given what it was doing to me.
Great
Good on
job,
ya.
Nesta.
I definitely would not have thought about that.
Good job.
And especially, man, my panic brain. I am not a person that panics and jumps into action. I'm definitely a freeze. I am not a take care of myself. I'm definitely my brain has stopped working. And if I'm being shoved into a cauldron, I don't know what I'm coming out as. I guess I feel like it's like I don't want it, so I guess I'll be powerful. But like, you imagine going through that situation, and be like, I'm gonna take from it. I'm gonna rip from it.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you. I would just be like, no, don't. It's the cloak. The cloak makes me feel very like, I'm just wrapped up. I'm just a caterpillar, not yet a butterfly.
I think when you become a butterfly, you have cleavage.
Yeah. Look at this.
I'm a monarch butterfly.
Bubba.
So, and as much as she's managed to steady herself, and they are proud of her, but she can't help notice everyone staring at her like, good girl. She wonders if she's been so awful that these simple few sentences were such relief to them. And the answer is yes, Nesta.
Yes, girl. You were being a really big bitch for quite some time.
Yeah. Amren asserts that if she were able to gather these 3 objects, she being Briallen, that they might contain enough power to lead her to the cauldron. Then Asriel rightly points out, also these objects are dangerous on their own, guys. You're all focused on her getting to the cauldron, but like this can lead an army of the dead.
Yeah.
Could that be a problem?
Yeah. Should we think about that for a second?
Amren adds something else to the problem, that they don't know the entirety of what Koshkia wants. And to top it off, being an ancient, he may know more about the trove than they do.
I just feel like it's just every time they bring it up, there should be a button that's like, Dread Trove.
Now you every time.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm going to. Don't worry. I'll remember the bit.
Yep.
I'm good at it.
And what they may be capable of when joined together. Nesta realizes they've all been referring to Koshkia as the Death Lord and wants to know what that is. Oh, it's just some chill guy.
I'm sure.
It's a guy.
Use context clues. I don't know what it means either, but sounds pretty bad. Sounds like somebody I don't want to screw with.
I got the gist of it.
Yeah.
Cassian is the one who answers. Remember Lanthus, the thing I'm most afraid of? It's one of those. So in conclusion, we've got Briallen wanting her hot girl summer back. We've got Koshkia conspiring with Briallen to attain the legendary Dread Trove. So that she may find the cauldron, and in doing so, give Koshki his freedom to rain terror down on Prythian and beyond. And we've got Baron allying with Briallen to try to gain footing in Prythian and potentially overtake the Spring Court.
Oh my God.
What's the gang gonna do?
We need Scooby.
They need Scooby. That's what they need.
And so now it's a weird crossover. Hanna-Barbera signed on for the last book. Yes. Hanna-Barbera erotica. It's what we've been asking for.
Oh, God. I'm sure
what's in my picnic basket?
I mean, actually, I'm pretty sure with Scooby-Doo, there's not the dog, hopefully, probably the dog.
Scooby-Doo Hanna-Barbera?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
But I will say,
but I think I was thinking more Yogi Bear and thinking about what's inside of his basket.
No, I don't want to see any of that. But I think there's a lot of Mystery Machine sex scenes happening on the internet.
I guarantee with the amount of people that I see dressed up as sexy Velma.
Oh my
as
God,
a thick
that
girl,
is a whole
I have
fetish.
Dressed up as sexy Velma. So it's like, I'm part of it. I'm here with it too.
Yeah. Well, Az asserts that he's pretty sure that Briallen hasn't found these objects yet, but she is readying her armies to invade Prythian soon. Though Baron is allying with her, he doesn't think Baron knows of the trove. And gosh,
just the regular trove.
And Koshkia is still trapped at his lake. So they still have some time to try to find them first. The trove, that is. They can't tell the other courts.
Oh, does it not work? Does it ruin your sentence structure?
No, I love it. They can't tell the other courts because they would reveal Eris as their ally and they don't want to sell him out. So they considered for a second telling them about the Dread Trove and that and that they considered the idea, but then they thought, well, we can't really because it would reveal that Eris is working with them, essentially.
Yes.
And also, Amren points out that these objects are so old and so forged with power that it's likely they remain hidden intentionally, that they are willed to be forgotten, and they can only be found by dark or powerful magic. They were made in a time when wild magic still roamed the earth, and the Fae were not masters of all. made objects back then tended to gain their own self-awareness and desires. It was not a good thing.
Amren's face clouded with memory, and a chill whispered over Nesta's spine. Man, can you imagine being that old that you're like, we ain't got nothing to do. Let's make evil things.
No. Yeah.
That's just like, what a hobby. Like, I make evil things. I make things that are just like,
If I did have magic powers, though, I get why you'd want to experiment and like try stuff. But I wouldn't be making evil objects of power, probably.
Nah, I think I'd be making more like something that every time like I think of the kind of sandwich I want, it made me the sandwich.
I thought we already talked about how that's not good for anyone.
I don't want the whole house. I just want like a stone that I touch that makes me a sandwich. That only if I am touching the stone, do I get a sandwich.
I feel like I wouldn't have the control. I think I'd eat too many sandwiches.
Wow, what a world we could live in, though.
Too many sandwiches.
Too many sandwiches.
Emran thinks that because Brialyn touched the cauldron, that it helped her be able to see these objects in a way that they were glamour to be forgotten.
All of them, all at once, looked at Nesta.
You,
Amren said quietly,
are the same. So is Elain. So Cassian, they're all processing this, and essentially Amren's saying, Brialyn probably can have some access to these things because she went in the cauldron. You were made by the cauldron. Elain was made by the cauldron. You probably can also try to find these objects.
Like calls to like.
Like calls to like. Cassian says, okay, got it. We need to track this stuff down. So how are we going to do that?
Elain spoke from the doorway, having appeared so silently that they all twisted toward her.
Using me.
Dun, dun, dun! How the hell we gonna do that, Elain? What, are you gonna be stroking a cat? Staring out the window? Hoping to be at the sea? I don't know what she hopes for. I don't know what she dreams for. Give that bitch a garden.
All she wanted to do was live in that stupid castle. Stupid Boro.
With Boro Snoro with taking her fucking maidenhead. Ugh.
You know what that means? That I do enjoy, like, again, all the way back to ACOTAR, I love that we don't watch any of them lose their virginity because, like...
Yeah, I don't want to breed through that. Like, that's not sexy for me. Like, I want people that know what they're doing. Yeah, that's why I like to read smut. Yeah.
Of their own will.
Yeah. And they're like, I've got all this experience. Let me bring my experience.
Let me try some stuff out.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I love reading smut, guys. And I am here for it.
See you next week.
It's coming soon. The big
it's coming.
It's coming.